Now, I want to talk about Matt Patricia right here because a lot of Detroit Lions fans don't like Matt Patricia. I understand why, definitely. I'm not going to sit here and defend Matt Patricia. His first season as the Lions head coach went 6-10. I'm going to give him a pass because it's your first year. You're bringing in, you don't have your guys yet. The first year, just kind of establish your culture. Second year, didn't go so well. The team was actually looking decent before Stafford got hurt, but obviously Stafford gets hurt, so we'll give Patricia a semi-pass, even though the team didn't look so great at times. But listen, I'm not letting Matt Patricia off the hook this season. I think this is one of the more talented Lions teams of the last, 10 to 15 years. I really do think this Lions team is very, very good. You look at Matthew Stafford. I think that Matthew Stafford is going to play some great football this year. Last time we saw Matthew Stafford, he was on pace for 5,000 yards, and he was going to throw for over 35 touchdown passes. If you prorate his stats, you got to get quarterback. You got 3 really good running backs. The wide receiver core is very, very deep. Kenny Galladay's a star in the making. You got decent tight ends. He brought in his guys, Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers, on the defense. You added Jeffrey Okudah. You added, Trufant. And listen, Matt Patricia is supposed to be this defensive guru. So far, I have not seen a lot of great things from that unit. And I think that Matt Patricia at least needs to win 7 games this year. If I were a Lions fan, and by the way, I'm not a Lions fan, but if I were a Lions fan, I would say, Patricia, get at least 7 wins. If you don't get the 7 wins, I might have to consider letting you go. So, look, what are your thoughts on Patricia? Do you think he is a good coach? Obviously, I think he at times struggles to relate to players. Some players have had some beef with Patricia. I think that at first, he was trying too hard to be like Bill Belichick, and not everyone can be Bill Belichick. Actually, no one's Bill Belichick, and not everyone can take the approach of letting their team go the Patriot way. The Patriot way is not for everyone, so hopefully he makes that adjustment. But what are your thoughts on Patricia as a coach, and is it fair to criticize Patricia and say, hey, man, let's start winning some games, brother?
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you said there. And my thing about Patricia, I think the jury is honestly still out there. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if he's a good coach, and I'm not sure if he's a bad coach. I just don't know. He's been there 2 years. First year, 6-10, okay, and you'd like to do better. Past year, QB gets hurt. This is the year, okay? When we first hired him, I was really happy about the hire. I mean, he had so much success in New England as their defensive coordinator, won a bunch of Super Bowls there. And in 2 seasons, he's won 9 games. I'm going to cut him some slack just because, been destroyed by injuries those 2 years, and everyone has injuries, so it's not really an excuse. And then, last year, like I said, QB gets hurt. We ended the season 2 years ago with a bunch of nobodies on this team. I mean, I think it was 2 years ago we played Green Bay, last game of the season, and our leading receiver, this was when Stafford was still healthy. Our leading receiver was like some no-name guy. We picked him up from someone's practice squad the same week, and he was our best receiver that week. Like, it was just bad. So I'm giving Patricia a little bit of slack just because of the injuries. But he was known in New England for his defensive knowledge. I mean, that New England defense was good, and it's been good. So, as a defensive guy, I think he's been a pretty underwhelming, okay? So, the defense hasn't really lived up to expectations under Patricia. Now, last year we had a defensive coordinator that was awful. Okay, we fired him as soon as the season ended. He was terrible, and our defense was really bad last year. So we bring in a new guy there, and like you said, this is the year for Patricia. And our owner, actually, Martha Ford, has already came out and said it's all or nothing this year. Not win a Super Bowl, but at least make the playoffs, or like you said, 7 games. I'm thinking more like at least 8 or 9 wins. If we have another bad season, I think Patricia's going to get fired. And whether that's right or wrong, it's a business. You're defined by your wins. Whether that's fair or not, we don't know. But it's the truth. You're defined by your win totals. So if we have another bad year, we hired Patricia to get over the hump, and we have not done it. We haven't even came close to it. Okay, so I think this could be his last year in Detroit, unless he really has a good year. And like you said, he struggled to relate to some players, which it happens. I don't think Patricia's a bad guy. I think most of the guys I think pretty much all the guys on the team like him now that Slay's gone. But this is his first time ever being a head coach, and he's going to have some trials and tribulations. He's going to have some mistakes, and I think he's learning from it. And I'm just excited to see what he does this year. Like you said, we got some pieces on paper. We look pretty good. If we can stay healthy, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and to be very clear, when I mentioned the 7 wins, I said 7's kind of the minimum number. I actually kind of agree with you. I think this team is capable of winning 8 to 9 games and things of that nature. So I think that 7 is the cutoff number. Like, that's the bare minimum. If I were a Lions fan, I would want Patricia to at least get my team to 7 wins at the minimum, and we'll see if he can get more than that. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.